What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be discussing a little bit of Bitcoin, the stock market, and a couple interesting charts that I found on Twitter recently. So here we have Bitcoin on the long-term chart, looking at 2018 to where we are now. And it's interesting to see how we're in a pretty similar position where the price is way down below the downtrend line, the log scale downtrend line, and we're kind of just stuck down here. It seems like we're so close, yet so far away from getting a breakout of this trend line. And it's likely going to take quite some time. And also, we may have reason to believe that we may not have actually hit the bottom yet. I'm not really all too biased about this idea. Is it the bottom? Is it not? But today I was looking at the stock market, looking at the S&P 500, and we can see that this year-long downward sloping resistance line is now a resistance once again. We just had our fourth rejection, right? One over here, beginning of 2022, 1, 2, 3, and now 4. We're actually coming down today, down 2% for the S&P 500. And if you're looking at this chart here, you can see we may have a bearish MACD cross coming for the daily chart for the S&P 500. So we may be seeing a little bit of a sell-off soon. It's quite possible. But also something to keep in mind is the CPI report coming out on December 13th, and also the fact that the Fed says that they may be reducing rate hikes to 50 basis points. So those could be possible bullish factors that would stop us from seeing a pullback in the stock market. But for now, we're coming up on this major resistance line. MACD's crossing down. And generally, this is not a good thing for Bitcoin. Right? When you're looking at the Bitcoin chart here, you can see that, yeah, Bitcoin's pretty much correlating with almost every move, right? They're both going up at the same time, down at the same time, up, down at the same time. Now, of course, recently we had the FTX debacle, which caused a decoupling, but not the kind that we want. We saw Bitcoin going down with the price going, the S&P going up. So we had a bearish decoupling for Bitcoin. But my concern here is that, you know, essentially, Bitcoin has been unable to get bullish pressure because of the industry issues. The industry issues have crushed confidence. There's been a lot of damage to the sentiment. So we're not really finding any bounces right now. But if the stock market were to tumble, we would certainly find the bearish speculators stepping back in, and the price would probably fall some more. That seems to be the case here. There hasn't been a single pullback that Bitcoin hasn't correlated to in the stock market. Bitcoin correlates with every stock market pullback, just not every pump. It's really not the best situation. But yeah, if the stock market's going to come down here, we'll probably see Bitcoin hit lower levels. Just the other day, we were having a conversation in my VIP chat in Discord, and we were talking about all the models that people had, all the price models, and how all the models were broken. If you remember, that reminded me of what Michael Saylor said.
What happens to all these wonderful models if 10 billionaires decide to buy $1 billion of Bitcoin each and announce we bought it, we're not ashamed of it, we're going to buy more? All your models are destroyed, completely devastated. Bitcoin goes to the moon.
So he was right. All the models did break, but they broke to the downside. So in reality, you know, it was the complete opposite of what Michael Saylor envisioned for the future price of Bitcoin. We didn't go to the moon, like he said. We got pretty much crushed by all these industry issues. But there is one price model that is still intact, and it's really at its final leg here. The price pretty much needs to hold this level, and that is Dave the Wave's price model. Bitcoin is still in the logarithmic growth curve buy zone, still up 4x since COVID. And this is something he posted in November. And pretty much this is the only model that I can find on Twitter, on crypto Twitter, that is still intact. And, you know, we're pretty much sitting right at the end of that, right? So all models are about to be destroyed unless we get a bounce right here. And this is really the last model that I've seen that is still in play, but it's really just right on the cusp of breaking. And this is really the scary part, is that if the stock market does reject this trend line, this resistance line, Bitcoin would be in the longest bear market in history if we had another leg down. And it kind of makes sense. We're in a recession. Well, that's actually up for debate, but it's very likely going to end up being a recession. And we've been talking about this for many months here on this channel, that this downward sloping resistance line is showing that our true bullish recovery pretty much cannot take place until about mid next year. I mean, sure, it's unlikely that we're just going to go to the moon here. It's more likely that we would at least go sideways, right? Even if we went straight sideways, that's still mid next year. More likely, a little bit more downside, followed by a base of support, that's still mid next year. We got a lot of time on our hands to watch this play out, to, make the crypto industry is in total shambles right now. So we have a lot of time to not just watch Bitcoin, maybe go lower and go sideways and bottom out. We got a lot of time to see what happens with the industry. We have a big cleanup game here that's going to be taking place over the next many months. And we also have regulation coming in for crypto. So there's a lot of things to look forward to, better or worse. But, I think we're probably going to have a pretty boring next 6 months, I have to say. Aside from maybe another dump, I think generally things are going to be pretty slow in this market. And it's not really the greatest or the sexiest analysis, but this is just what I see as being realistic, the most likely thing to happen. And as you guys may have seen, I'm wearing my Cryptowatch sweater today. I've actually been using the Cryptowatch app a lot. They have a new social feature on there. I'm posting on there a lot. There's a great community in there. It is basically Twitter, but for crypto, and it's only crypto, right? So on Twitter, you get, a bunch of spam with political stuff or whatever. But if you guys want to have a social app that is 100% about crypto, download the Cryptowatch app, create an account. It's free. Follow me on there, and we'll talk about the prices on the Cryptowatch app. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.